murder of Zaiylah Bronson. Zaiylah Bronson was born in 2004 to Steve and Zaiyah Bronson at Fort Campbell Military Base. Zaiylah was the eldest of Steve and Zaiyah's 3 children. The family moved to Kansas when Zaiylah was in elementary school. Zaiylah is described as being loving and caring by her family and friends. She had an independent spirit, and although she was a full-time college student, she still held a job at a local clothing store as the manager. Zaiyah's dream and career ambition was to become a math teacher. On Saturday, August the 6th, 2023, Wichita, Kansas dispatchers received a call at 11:08 a.m. from a 911 operator in North Carolina. The North Carolina operator said there was a possible homicide in Wichita and that official had received a call from Zaiyah's boyfriend family member. Wichita police went to 2 different locations to check on the victim. At one of the locations, officer talked to Alexander Lewis, Zaiyah's boyfriend, and found Zaiylah in the trunk of his car. Police pulled her out of the trunk and tried to save her life until EMS arrived. She was later pronounced dead. Soon after the discovery of Zaiyah's body, 22-year-old Alexander Lewis was charged with first-degree murder relating to a domestic violence incident, the Wichita Police Department stated. The murder of Zaiylah was shocking to her friends and family, but no one else was more shocked and surprised than her mother. When hearing about the passing of her daughter, she stated, "I went to a women's gathering on Saturday and shopped a bit. I was out when I received a call from my husband who asked if the police had spoken to me. I immediately dropped everything in my hands, my purse and everything, and just fell to the floor," she recalled. "It was very, very devastating. It still is. My daughter had been dating Alexander for the last year. He seemed well-spoken and was in the U.S. Air Force. He seemed like a smart guy," she said. She wondered if she just wasn't around enough to notice that something was wrong. "We are a close-knit family," her mother stated in an interview with USA Today. "She would contact one of us at least every day. She would have 2 days off and she would come down just to see us and spend time." Zaiylah was a wonderful young lady with good morals. She also was a dog mom, and she introduced her little poodle to her family when he was just small enough to fit into her hands. Now her mother, Zaiyah, will be taking over the care of Zaiyah's little poodle. Zaiylah told her mother about her pregnancy when she was about 6 weeks along. She had gone to a doctor's appointment and showed up at her mother's house with a bag full of items. "Mom, look what the doctor gave me," Zaiylah told her mother. Her mother saw a blanket and thought they were for her dog, Oliver. But when she kept looking, she also saw diapers. Zaiyah said she was shocked and happy at the same time for her daughter Zaiylah, although she knew she was 19 years old and was still very young and trying to obtain her education. The baby name came up during the last conversation she had with her mother. She wanted it to be a surprise. To her mother's knowledge, only Zaiylah and Lewis, her boyfriend, the child's father, knew what the baby would have been named if Zaiylah and her unborn child had lived. Zaiyah's godmother, Dawn Wilson, stated, "The depth of pain that domestic violence inflicts upon its victim and their loved one is unimaginable. No one should ever have to endure such suffering, and we must come together to address and prevent such tragedies from occurring." Dawn Wilson herself was a victim of domestic violence. Wilson first met the family when she worked with the 19-year-old's father at a prison. "Zaiylah is very vibrant, very free-spirited. Would give her last to you," Wilson stated as she smiled. "Just very outgoing, very spunky. You go from planning baby shower to now planning funeral for somebody so young." We want those who love and knew Zaiylah to remember her as the spunky track star that she was. When the Wichita police announced the 19-year-old death, they also released info for the domestic violence victims and said they can seek help that way if they're scared to talk to someone else. Homicide kills more pregnant and and postpartum Americans than any single medical complication. An August report by the Kansas Maternal Mortality Review Committee found that it's a leading cause of pregnancy associated with death for women in the state, behind only car accident and cardiovascular conditions. Being pregnant makes anyone more likely to experience intimate partner violence, but Wallace said, Black moms, teenagers, and those living in homes with guns are most at risk. The risk is also greater for pregnant and postpartum women living in rural areas, and they're less likely to receive intimate partners abuse screening at healthcare visits. Alexander Lewis' first appearance in court was on Wednesday, where he was charged with capital murder. Bond was set at $500,000, and his next appearance in court will be at 11 a.m. on September 14, 2023. He has refused to talk to anyone about the murder. Zaiylah Bronson, the reason why he killed her and their unborn child. Although I know it's so hard to speak up when you're in an intimate relationship with someone that you love that turn around and abuse you, it is important to know that there's so much resources out there that can help you. If you do not feel comfortable talking to a family member or a friend, there's so much agencies that is willing to help you and guide you to a place of protection. Zaiylah Bronson was a beautiful, loving, and educated young lady that had so much dreams for herself that was cut short by someone's anger and bad temper. Prayers and condolences goes out to Zaiylah Bronson parents, Steve and Taranzi Bronson, along with her two other siblings. May her and her unborn child's soul rest in peace. Until next time on the Meaningful Talk Crime Doc, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch up with you guys later in the comments section.